On behalf of the IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all our participants, dignitaries, and our highly esteemed speaker to the IMC online series on physical and mental fitness, Yoga Se Hoga, with Dr. Mickey Mehta. To begin the session, I request Mr. Rajiv Podar, President IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to present the welcome address. Over to you, Mr. Podar.
Thanks, Tanvi. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this session on Get Fit with IMC series, our first of the series program, Yoga Se Hoga, with Dr. Mickey Mehta. Both Dr. Batra, who is moderating the session kindly, and Dr. Mickey Mehta need no introduction. Just a few lines about them. Dr. Mukesh Batra is not only a dear friend and part of IMC, very much IMC family, but he's a well-known homeopathic. He runs a very successful homeopathic chain in 6 countries and a great brand. He's a household brand with everybody. He's an author of books. He's a great photographer. He's a writer. He's an inspirer, and I can go on. He was awarded the Padma Shri Award for Homeopathic Medicine in 2012, and he's widely known to use modern technology to bring standardization of homeopathic healthcare solutions, and regarded as the pioneer of modern homeopathy in India. Dr. Mickey Mehta is a global leading holistic health guru who teaches about health, well-being, wellness, and fitness. He is also a TV and radio personality and in various publications and websites. He preaches the concept of holistic health and equipment-free workouts, and has done so by establishing a chain of Mickey Mehta wellness temples across the country. So with this, I'll leave you. I know you're all anxious, we're eagerly waiting to hear to start the session. I'll hand it over to Dr. Mukesh Batra to take it from here. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv, for such a wonderful introduction. It helps a lot if you have friends who introduce you. And welcome to all our listeners today, and a very, very warm welcome to Dr. Mickey Mehta. Thank you, Mickey, for coming on this talk and enlightening us with your words of wisdom. I'd like to start first with a very simple question. Mickey, just to set the ball rolling, there are a lot of misconceptions about yoga. A lot of people think that yoga is just a series of difficult exercises, while actually it's a way of life. So I'd just like you to share with us first, very briefly, what according to you is a basic definition of yoga?
Rajiv ji, you forgot one thing about Dr. Mukesh Batra in introduction. Because his stature is short, in physics, because 3 times his body are the roots of humility. And he's so endearing, so lovable, so cute, and so warm. Thank you, Dr. Mukesh Batra, for being you. One of my first TV breaks was given by Dr. Mukesh Batra in his Positive Health show. And that day and today, the magnanimity of a human being with his confidence and security shows that when you bring a fellow professional on board, it shows that he is at such a level that there is no insecurity. He is way ahead of me in life. So thank you, sir. Now coming to yoga. So you know what? Yoga and divinity, they both mean the same. Divinity comprises of 2 polarities when they become whole, when they get integrated. And yoga also means a confluence of polarities when life becomes whole. And a new reality is born out of it. So, also very important, as divinity is a principle, and the personalities which become God are embodiments of those divinity. They are the epicenters of those divinity, and they are the epitomes of such divinity in principle. So yoga is in principle. It's a principle of congruence of the flow of energy, the Chandra Surya, Yin Yang, Shiva Shakti. Now typically when Ganga and Yamuna come and join together in Prayag. Saraswati is born. There is no Saraswati river there. The Saraswati new flow of river starts from there. So that's the congruence where new realities are born out of yoga. When polarities come in harmony, they complement and not contradict. They complement and not conflict, because the conflict is stress. The complementing is harmony. So yoga is yuj, kevalya ki avastha. And yoga ki ek paribhasha hai swasth. And swasth also has the word ast, astha. So yoga means faith also. So swasth, swasth, astha. And swasth means swayam mein sthit, swayam mein upasthit, swayam ki upasthiti, hona, hone dena. Hone dena is the flow.
So thank you so much for such a wonderful explanation. So basically it's a balance, of within us.
Complete.
And the oneness that we discover through yoga.
Complete.
That the topic that Mickey you suggested
Haan ji.
was yoga se hoga.
Haan ji, haan ji.
And that's such a interesting topic. So I'm just going to ask you this one question: yoga se kya hoga?
Acha.
Can you just quickly enumerate,
Absolutely.
like maybe 8 or 10 things that yoga can be useful for the common person?
Okay. So as I spoke to you about the confluence of energy, it is also a congruence of your geometry with the geometry of the cosmos, because everything is interrelated, interconnected. So non-local field of energy and information with self-referral cybernetic feedback loops is what yoga gives rise to. So when we say what is God in IT parlance, so the information technologists have a very typical quirky way of explaining divinity. So they said a-causal, non-local energy field of information with self-referral cybernetic feedback loops. So yoga creates a connection with your congruence of your body, with the congruence of the cosmic body, and when they become one, the lines of division get obliterated. And these lines, जब विभाजन खत्म होता है, तो wholeness comes to fore. And when जब विभाजन खत्म होता है, so in the wholeness what happens is your swara and sura become one. Sura, the notes of life, the music of life, and swara which gives rise to sura. And swara and sura, when they become sangeet, and sangeet gets you tarangeet. So you get electrically charged. So yoga charges you with bioelectricity to be the co-creator of your destiny. It gives you
what does this charge do, Mickey, in specific terms of common people as far as diseases are concerned or health is concerned? Where are the health benefits of yoga? Can you just name like 8 or 10?
Right away. So this charge first gives rise to endocrine system and stimulates it. So secretion of hormones. Can you believe that the T cells and B cells get secreted in passivity of super meditation and also in activity of super pranayam, in both? In Shavasana also T cells and B cells are stimulated, as well as in dynamic asanas. Now in laughter also T cells and B cells are stimulated because your diaphragm moves 12 to 13 centimeters in great laughter.
Are cells that build immunity. These are cells that help to build immunity.
And sir, your most important, your pineal and your pituitary gland come into action with every yoga posture. So I think the master glands comes to rise with Bhujangasana. And Bhujangasana is very good anti-aging asana. And every asana should have a Vipreet to complement it. So Bhujangasana करने के बाद पर्वतासन करना चाहिए.
Okay.
हाँ, और धनुरासन करने के बाद पवन मुक्तासन करना चाहिए. Worked in combination. Very few yoga exponents will give you this small secrets and magic of yoga. अच्छा, बहुत important बात है कि when you do chakrasan typically, तो chakrasan में क्या होता है? Whenever your body goes towards the gravity and your head goes down and your organs incline downwards, the force of gravity reduces on the organs and organs relax and they flow backwards and they dispel all the toxins from the organs. And when you come back to normal, fresh blood, nutrient-laden blood and oxygen-laden blood goes back into the organs. So revitalizing of organs, once again, good for immunity. Now, energy-wise, what happens is, as you breathe while you do yoga, typically your energy reservoir rises because you pull prana from the atmosphere and environment, and the 20% saturation of oxygen in the environment becomes your 20% in your lungs. And only through yoga and pranayama, you can empty your 5 lobes of lungs, 2 on your left, 3 on your right, and refill them. And every day emptying and refilling your lungs will make you immortal, eternal. Technically, I can explain to you, but eventually after 7 cycles of 12 years, when you become 84, Jain Dharam has a science of Santhara, which means you stop eating, then you stop drinking, and then you let go your breath with choice. So you don't die to disease, decay, and disorder.
I'm going to come to that a little later,
Haji.
Mickey.
Haji.
But basically, I think you covered a lot of things in this. You're saying that, therefore, yoga is very good for breathing problems, for asthmas, for allergies, very good for endocrinal problems like PCOD in case of women, menopausal syndrome, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of goodness to yoga, not just simple exercises. Before I go ahead, let me acknowledge the presence of Ranjan, Rahul, Nitin, Nishreen, Mary, Louisa, Jeru, Jayashree, and so many other people who kind of joining us. Bijal, yes, Bijal very much here. And let me welcome all of you to this chat. And let me also open this chat to any questions that you may have as we are going along. So my next question to you, Mickey, is that, there's something called ahar, which is diet.
Bilkul.
And we say that food is medicine, and we say that, you are what you eat.
Correct,
so how important, according to yoga, is diet, and what is the ideal sattvic diet?
Very good. See, sir, ahar ke liye vihar bahut zaruri hai. So vihar is activity, and activity has to be creative and productive. So yoga comes under creative and productive health, and not under prevention of health, prevention of disease. Prevention of disease is the lowest denomination explanation of yoga. Creative and productive health and healing is the highest denomination. So, sir, ahar is everything that you consume. And before you consume food, sir, I have breath for breakfast. So, mera pehla ahar hai prana, urja. Then secondly, I soak myself in sun. So, radiance, vibration. So, my body also takes in energy through the nourishment of the sun rays. Because we metabolize energy, our serotonin kicks in with a pineal gland. No sooner the sun rays touches our skin, and more importantly, mastisk pe. Then a positive visualization is also nourishing. A feeling of joy is nourishing. Optimism is nourishing. A good night's sleep nourishes you. A good yoga workout nourishes you because it increases oxygen and it increases your vibrational frequency of your electromagnetic field in your body. Plus, a good massage nourishes you.
So how does food help now? Let's come back.
Now coming to, after cosmic nourishment, food comes in.
Yeah.
Now food typically, when your body is challenged in a calibrated way through yoga, but never do yoga like an animal and never eat like an animal. Otherwise you'll behave like an animal. So sattva gun, sattvic sanskar, and sattvic sansar, that's the objective. And the other objective is what? कि हम जो बोलते हैं ना कि हमारा जो संकल्प है, in your sankalp, if there is sattva gun, you will move towards sattva food. And in sattva food, raw is sattva. So salads, fruits, nuts, seeds, roots, herbs.
So what is the precaution that you should take, Mickey, when you're eating raw food? Because raw food in India also is,
correct.
Very easy source of infection.
Correct. So wash them. Yes. So we can blanch them, we can wash them. And now there are lovely organic washes available in the market. So neem is one such wash which you can wash your fruits and vegetables with. Potassium permanganate you can soak. Also you can do a lot of rock salt and soak your food. And put little turmeric and ginger powder. And then wash it, rinse it. So at least 80-90% cover you get. Always remember that eat only when hungry. And जो एक बार खाए वो योगी, 2 बार खाए भोगी, जो 3 बार खाए वो रोगी.
Wow.
So cooked meals should be had only once in a day whenever there is a Pitta Kal, and the golden period for Pitta Kal is between 10 and 2 in the afternoon. 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. So 12 and 1 is the center point, best golden hour of digestion in your region, wherever you are. So your body's digestive juices जिसको जठर अग्नि बोलते हैं, peaks to crescendo. And इसमें बोलते हैं कि अमृत तो digest हो ही जाता है, ama भी digest हो जाता है. Ama are toxins. And now coming to food, regional, seasonal. And very important, our desi tat, desi thali, where 6 to 7 tastes are fulfilled through natural resources. So, sweet, sour, salty, spicy, astringent, bitter, and pungent. When 7 tastes are consumed by a body in perfect balance, perfect nutrition happens.
Excellent, Mickey. That was really very, very insightful. Could you also mention a little bit about, you spoke about Jain Dharma. Point to Jain Dharma, they don't eat food after sunset, and of course there's a reason for it, but also, what are your takes on dinner? Should it be light? Should it be early? There are a lot of confusing thoughts on that all over. Number one. Number two is your take on vegetarian diet.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, if you were to understand our circadian rhythm, in circadian rhythm, there is a window low, circadian window low, which is 2 hours between 3 and 5 or 4 and 6, where all the functions of the body are supposed to get done, and your body is locked down, and for those 2 hours, there is no activity, and your body temperature drops by 2 degrees. And that we also call Brahma Muhurat. Now let's go backwards 8 hours. When you go backwards 8 hours, that is the ideal time, or 9 hours for your dinner. So 7:30. Only if you have dinner by your sunset, because energies begin to ebb by sunset. Energies rise by sunrise. Your environmental energy completely corresponds with your physical energy. That is what yoga is all about, congruence and confluence, and becoming one. And this influence lowers your capacity to digest. So even Amrut can prove to become Ama at that time, if you eat a loaded meal. So dinner pre-sunset, because your digestive powers are still active. So Jains believe that food sitting around in your stomach, and also after sunset, bacteria rise.
Yes.
In the presence of sun, the bacteria are regulated.
So this brings me to another, related question, Mickey.
Haji.
What is views on intermittent fasting? There is there's so much of noise about it all over today.
Very interesting. So, sir, our Rishi Munis in our Sanatan Dharma, in their sanskars, in their Sanskriti, there was Ekadashi, eating once a day, and eating in the afternoon time. जब भी खेत में हल चलाने के बाद सबसे ज्यादा भूख लगती थी, तब खाते थे, जब भूख अपनी परम शिखर पे होती थी. So digestion is also param shikhar. When your hunger is at the pinnacle, even your digestion is at the pinnacle. So this is the theory. So number 2, that intermittent fasting is nothing but 20 years old infancy theory of autophagy of modern medicine.
Yeah.
Autophagy is when your body when you don't give food to your body for more than 12 to 14 hours, your body begins to kill and consume the bacteria.
Yeah.
Now the similar technology, sir, is so autophagy is now getting promoted to bacteriophagy, where modern science is purifying the feces of humans and injecting into humans for people who have high resistance to superbugs and antibiotics. Now, when this feces goes back, the most organic drug, one can say, it consumes all the bacteria, viruses inside your body, and once again brings your body on track with a live mechanism. So that's bacteriophagy.
Interesting. Let me now come to some very important part of yoga and also of life.
Haji, sir.
They say that breath is life and life is just a series of breaths.
हाँ जी सर.
So breathing is very, very important for all of us.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
They also say that, you have so many breaths in a lifetime, and therefore, how do you use it? It's like a
Correct.
currency. It's a currency of life. So how do you
Absolutely.
use breath? And how does yoga teach you how to breathe? And what is the correct way of breathing? Could you please throw some enlightenment on this?
So it is said that we have around 21,000 breaths a day, approximately.
Yes.
And you know why a dog only lives for 8 years, 10 years? Because a dog breathes very fast. Why does a tortoise live for 100 plus years? The tortoise breathes very slow, thus the metabolism is very relaxed. A relaxed metabolism doesn't give rise to disease. So yoga calms you, soothes you, but I'm not talking about Vikram hot yoga. I'm not talking about power yoga. I'm not talking about madness yoga. I'm talking about Saral Sahaj yoga, where you stretch.
So can you give us an example of how you can improve breathing
Correct.
with Saral Sahaj Yoga?
जैसे हमारे पहलवान थे, वो बोलते थे कि मैंने 10 मिनट में 100 दंड मार दिए. He's consumed so much of his day's breath in 10 minutes. तो वो थकावट से मारा. Carbon dioxide on a high rise in his body, lactic acid build up, and acidity and inflamed body. An inflamed body is a body of disease, disorder, will move towards malfunction, decay, and death of the cells. So in yoga, when you do Bhujangasana, Aram se, Karuna Purna, Sneha Purvak, and back into Parvatasana. Now, Occidental exercise gives rise to Manushya. Yoga exercise gives rise to Purusha. मनुष्य जो मन का मारा, पुरुष जो पूरक, योगा से जो पूरा होता है, और वो पूरा आदमी पुरुषोत्तम, उत्तम पुरुष बनता है, जिसको हम भगवान राम बोलते हैं. Don't want to make it communal, but I'm just getting into etymology, the etymology of our Sanskrit. So योगा से हम पुरुष बनते हैं, और साधारण एक्सरसाइज से हम मनुष्य ही रह जाते हैं. और जो मनुष्य है, उसकी सीढ़ी इंस्टिंक्ट से जुड़ी हुई है, जानवर से जुड़ी हुई है. सो जानवरपन जागृत होगा, और जो पुरुष बन जाता है, उसमें कॉन्शियसनेस, बोध, चेतना, सजगता, उसकी जागृति होगी.
Interesting. And what are your takes on abdominal breathing?
So Japanese science did a lot of experiment on a breath pattern called Tanden. Tanden breathing or Qi breathing in Chinese is about not pulling the breath, and it's not about pushing the breath. It's watching your breath as it goes in, because you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are the one who has the body and the mind. So who are you? You are that eternal spirit which cannot be cleaved, cannot be wet, cannot be buried, cannot be dried, cannot be burnt. And that natural breathing, when the body takes in air when it wants, and it lets go air when it wants, but you become a witness to it. So stomach goes out when you breathe in, and stomach comes in. So ye ek pravah hai. It's a wave of the stomach. See, it goes like this. A rhythm, ek talmel, ek laybadhata, आपके हृदय से, आपका पेट का, और आपके मस्तिष्क से mind gut axis starts. Now yoga says, our Ved also says, that there is a subtle gut gravity axis also. So जैसे urdhagaman means when you begin to get energy from the bottom which rises upwards. Here we are putting energy to go lower. So saman vayu, so we have 5 vayus. One is pran vayu for the whole body, vyan vayu in charge of the heart, saman vayu for digestion of the stomach, apan vayu for elimination of toxins, and udan vayu for elevation of consciousness, to disconnect you from instincts and get you higher on the ladder of evolution. Only a man is capable of rising higher than gods and falling below animals.
That is why, Mickey, you're called a guru.
No, thank you.
Because you actually take people up to another plane. And yoga is just one method of doing it. We've had lots of questions here, Mickey. I'd just like to get into them. We have lots of some people kind of actually appreciating the conversation over here. Dr. Phatak Jha says, very good session. Shelby says, fantastic session, interesting session. And then a question that has been asked here is, in our working hours, we reach home late, around 8:30 to 9. So what will the method to follow for taking dinner? Some suggestions.
Okay.
Also related with that is another question from Jayashree, which says, please suggest remedies for severe acidity.
Okay. So I'll start with acidity. So in yoga, when you do Nadi Shodhan, so left to right and right to left nostril breathing alternately, which creates a wave of positive, negative energy in tandem, and that will settle your acidity. That's number one. Number two, when you take short breaths, slow, relaxed breaths through your nostrils, and you blow out in a relaxed way, you are quelling off and dispelling the excess heat of your stomach. And by that, your body begins to get more alkaline gradually. It takes 7 minutes of cycle of breath to bring your alkaline, your pH level perfect.
So this can help you in your digestion as well.
100%. That's number one. Number two, the best antacid on this earth is anar. Ek anar, 100 bimar. So when I work with cancer patients who are terminally ill, when I work with degenerative diseases, autoimmune diseases, and where doctors have said 4 to 5 months only, I have used walnuts, anar, breath, sleep, massages, meditation, visualization, affirmations, and they are living today for 12, 14 years. So anar gives you elixir of life, which is called amruta. And this amruta makes you eternal. And primarily it is an antacid, but secondary and tertiary, it gives you the finest immunity. It gives you resveratrol. It builds your hemoglobin. It builds your white blood corpuscles, red blood corpuscles. And it nourishes your blood, which in turn nourishes your organs, which in turn a dead cellular degenerative process turns into an active cellular regenerative process.
Mickey, you just redefined literature. I mean, it should not be an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It should be an anar a day keeps the doctor away.
Bilkul.
So I think we'll stick with that. Another very interesting problem that we have today, because we're all sitting for too long, and they say, sitting is a new smoking. So a lot of us actually have postural defects. And we don't have the right posture, and because of that, obviously, then there are lots of physical and other issues that we get. So what are your suggestions through yoga or even otherwise for adapting a good posture? We all slouch, we become TV addicts, sitting on the couch. Correct. So what is the right way to actually make sure that you have a good posture, and how does yoga help?
Okay, so there is a ult Naukasana. One is Naukasana, where on your back you raise your body 6 inches upwards, and dhyan nabhi pe kendrit hona chahiye. So apart from your stomach muscles getting contracted and held tight and your core becoming strong, what also happens is courage, bravado, vision, and all these come to fore. So himmat aati hai, kshamta badhti hai, body ki kshamta badhti hai. So that's one. And vipreet, uske vipreet agar karna ho, to ult Naukasana. So one is Naukasana, and ult Naukasana, where you put your hands behind your lower back and you raise your upper body and lower body 2 to 3 inches above the ground to begin with, or even 1 centimeter above the ground to begin with. And in the third conclusive posture, get into Balasana. In Balasana, you sit in Vajrasana, you suck your stomach in tight, you hold your Muladhara tight, you squeeze your Vishuddhi gland, which is responsible for your BMR functions, metabolic functions. And you become a ball in Balasana like a kid, where your mastis comes in touch with Gurtakarshan, which is the gravity. And the gravity, instead of pulling you, dissolves and gives you the connect of earthing. And your ego gets annihilated. So ahankara, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mad, maya, matsara, they dissolve in that position. Because it is called Balasana, you become innocent again. Your corrupted mind gets cleanses. Shuddhikaran hoti hai wahan par.
That reminds
Then
me,
you
Mickey,
get it.
of an interesting personality that who was a friend of mine, MF Hussain. You know, he
MF Hussain.
always walked bare feet.
Bare
And he
feet.
always said that that's my way of keeping in touch with nature. And for
Absolutely.
the goodness of nature come into my, you know, my creative juices and kind of
Absolutely.
help me then to paint creatively.
Direct connect with the earth.
Yeah.
Direct connect with the earth. Sir, one इसमें एक story याद आई कि Bodhidharma. So Bodhidharma took Dhyan to the east. And when he, after 20 invitations from the Chinese emperor, when he entered the gate, the Chinese emperor was baffled because Bodhidharma had his 2 sandals on his feet and on his head while he was walking. So
Yeah.
first question asked to Bodhidharma was, okay, why have you put your footwear on your head? So it is said, it is to remind me that the higher is not higher than the lower. To keep my ego in check. To keep my ego in check. Chappal, jhuti, sar pe rakh ke chalo, it will keep your ego in check.
Very interesting.
And dhyan in Chinese lingo was dhyan. Dhyan became Zen. So actually Zen's etymology, the root of Zen is dhyan.
So Mickey, there's a question from Dr. Jha asking for any yoga that will help neck and shoulder pain. And another similar question also from Sisodia about what is recommended for leg or feet pain. So could you answer that, please?
So जैसे modern science constantly tells you ना कि इसके लिए वो खाओ, उसके लिए ये खाओ. Yoga doesn't tell you कि इसके लिए ये करो, उसके लिए वो करो. Yoga says कि पूरक होके, एकजुट होके, केवल्य होके कोई भी आसन करोगे उसमें बॉडी के सारी तंदुरुस्ती होती है. तन की दुरुस्ती होती है.
Wow.
So if you do all the asanas to your range of motion without pushing it, no aggression, no violence in yoga. Modern exercises will give you push. They'll make you an accountant. Itne weights karo, itne reps karo, itni REM ki sleep lo, itni calories khao, itni calories burn karo. Yoga says कि accountant मत बनिए, biofeedback लीजिए, use your intelligence. एंड जब आप ध्यान पूर्वक, स्नेह पूर्वक, प्रेम पूर्वक कोई भी कारण से कार्य करते हैं तो कर्म धर्म पूरा होता है. सो इन योग आवर धर्म इज टू तन की दुरुस्ती. तन की दुरुस्ती के साथ मन की दुरुस्ती होती है, क्योंकि जब तन में खिंचाव होता है, फैलाव होता है और ठहराव होता है और सिकोड़ना भी होता है. सो फैलाव, ठहराव और सिकोड़ना, उसके साथ पूरे बदन की अंग की दुरुस्ती होती है. But now coming to gentle circulations of forward backward, then supporting your neck little bit and gentle forward backward, moving to the left, moving to the right and back, and mobilizing your whole body, and gentle twist, gentle stretch. You know, it took bodybuilding 70 years of evolution to reach a point where they said stretching is imperative after bodybuilding. So before bodybuilding started, there was no stretching. They looked at yogis and said, you know, at the end, every bodybuilder should do stretching, because fascia, when your fascia is stretched, all your immunomodulators, they drain. Because immunonodes are pumps. So all stretching is getting the fresh lymphatic juices get inside, and contraction is used up toxins going outside. So yoga established this 10,000 years back.
Thank you, Mickey. That was very useful. One question that still remained unanswered was about what can be done about pain in the feet.
Pain in the feet. Yeah. So there are therapies. Yoga is about principle of therapies. Now pain comes by akadav, moch, spasms or overused muscles. Hot water with salt. So first principle is rest. आराम सबसे बड़ा औषध है. ध्यान सबसे बड़ा औषध है, आराम सबसे बड़ा औषध है. So rest. So put your feet in hot water and put a lot of rock salt or sea salt inside. And sea salt has the properties to drain the fatigue out. And उसके साथ साथ जो sea salt से नहाएगा, Aura cleansing भी होती है. So Kirlian photography theology or science, it takes the pictures of 6 inches of light emanating out of your body. And that light is indigo, blue, black, gray, yellow. A Russian scientist discovered this 40-50 years back.
Yes.
So when you take a bath with salt water, simple bath also cleanses your aura. Salt water bath cleanses it a lot, but typically in points like wherever there is nuclear activity of the positive kind, like in Prayag, like Shivlings, like in certain very good mosques in the world, like certain very good stupas, there. So these are cleansing activities. So a good bath, dipping in hot water, salt, and acupressure. You know why Bruce Lee was Bruce Lee? Because he did not restrict himself to Kung Fu only. He learned the finest of wrestling, finest of Aikido, finest of Judo, finest of boxing, and he's called his art Tao of Jeet Kune Do, openness to everything, take the best from everything, and he offered it to the world.
Thank you, Mickey. That was very, very useful and very interesting. We've spoken a lot now about, posture, about digestion, about diet, about physical, things. Let me now come to one burning problem these days, especially last few months because of lockdown or lockout or whatever you want to call it. And that is anxiety and depression. The number of patients who are anxious because of the problem, because of staying at home, the cases of depression have actually gone up, including suicides. So what is it that yoga has to offer for anxiety and depression?
Correct. So what yoga does, the word yog means huge, joining, confluence, congruence, yog. And the of yoga means seat of awareness, seed of awareness. In the seat of awareness, you seed awareness. Now let's say in yoga, you get into Dhanurasana after a lot of practice. So first, let me go to a very wonderful philosophy of Dhanurasana. हम लोग धनुर पे ध्यान नहीं देते हैं, हम लोग तीर पे ध्यान देते हैं. तीर is insignificant. तीर का वजूद धनुर से है. The alignment of the तीर, the strike of the तीर, the trajectory of the तीर, and your lakshya of the तीर is because of the धनुर. अगर धनुर stable होगा, तो तीर लक्ष्य पे लगेगा. Right? So,
yes.
So, जब हम धनुरासन करते हैं तो क्या क्या होता है? तो धनुरासन में एक तो we see static posture, but inside there is dynamism. Blood, when you are holding a posture at the center of the gravity, you are connected to the whole body at a time. It is not just doing bicep, not just doing tricep. Yoga doesn't work in isolation. Yoga works in comprehension, amalgamation. So in yoga, your awareness to hold the body in balance has to be in here now. And when your awareness comes in here now, you're not in the past, you're not in the future. And in the here now, when the body comes into rhythm, so shift of rhythm when it becomes normal is the shift of consciousness in astha and faith. And from there comes swasth. And as I said, swara and sur also makes swarg, swara and sur. And swarg is only here now. Swarg is not in imagination. Your swarg is in your here now. So yoga gives you glimpses of swarg.
So Mickey, how do you do that? The question really is,
so when you get
how to do it and what are the simple steps?
ध्यान पूर्वक, chaitanya पूर्वक. एक posture में when you flow in a poetry, yoga is a flow of postures in poetry. So when you are flowing in poetry, that is the time, जैसे सूर्य नमस्कार करते हैं. So Om Mitraय Namah, hands are next to your hips. Om Rave Namah, Om Suryaya Namah, Om Bhanve Namah. So your dhyan is in the sequence. See? And your here now becomes your here now also in the next moment. So there is continuity in discontinuity and there is discontinuity in continuity, which means ध्यान here now से हटता नहीं है योग में. और जब ध्यान here now से हटता नहीं है, तो circulation of blood and rhythm of your heart dispels, doesn't give rise to anxieties, fears, and phobias. Because constriction of the body gives rise to anxieties, fears, and phobias. Flow of the body gives rise to faith.
Interesting,
Vision.
Mickey.
Vision.
I have some two very quick questions for you related with this.
Haji.
One is about meditation.
Haji.
You know how easy it is to meditate, because you know when you actually try to shut yourself out,
Haji.
then the worst thoughts come to your mind.
Haji.
So how do you develop that? And the second question related with that also is mindfulness, which is what a lot of people are talking about. So
Haji.
very quickly, because we have still one or two more questions, and I want to open it up to the audience for any questions, because we'll run out of time. But please answer these.
Okay.
Meditation and mindfulness.
See, meditation is, so we have 5 senses, and each sense is a chariot with 5 horses or 10 horses. So multiple senses are always giving us a feed with tits and bits of information, which we keep analyzing constantly. And that is what creates stress. One of the reasons. Meditation is a प्रक्रिया जहां पर हम थॉट्स पे ध्यान नहीं देते हैं, उसको दृष्टा भाव से सिर्फ देखते हैं सजग होके. So meditation is allowing your 5 senses which pull you in different direction to come together like this. See, like this, in oneness, and 5 senses become one common sense. And common sense is a perspective of the center. Uncommon sense is the perspective of the circumference, where logic will come, where tark will come. Tark Shastra will be born there. And Tark Shastra में किसी का सवेरा कभी नहीं हुआ है. दर्शन शास्त्र से होता है. So in meditation, there will be darshan shastra, philosophy. Adhyatmik drishti. So drishyam becomes drishti. Okay, your sight becomes a vision. So in meditation, you allow first your breath to come in rhythm. Your staggered breath is distorted sight. And rhythmic breath is a clear sight. I'll give you, you take a trough of water and put 50 ml of salt inside or pepper inside and stir it. It will become cloudy. Now stop stirring. So meditation is stopping to stir. And allow the pepper to settle. You will see the water in its absolute pristine original reality. So in meditation, you see life in its original reality without passing a judgment, opinionating, criticizing. When you see things in the light of wholeness, there is healing happening.
Excellent. Mindfulness, Mickey, very quickly in 1 or 2 lines.
So mind is a staggered entity, because and when mind is staggered, हमारे जो मोती हैं वो मोती बिखरे पड़े हुए हैं. तो ध्यान में मोतियों को उठा के उसकी एक माला बनानी है, उसमें एक जूट सारी मोतियों की माला. And mind empty of junk but full of light of awareness. Mind empty of junk, but it is filled with the light of consciousness. And this is not clinical consciousness. This is the consciousness of Chaitanya Bhav, Jagruti, which can see beyond the obvious. Because obvious is earth is flat, but actually it is round. The obvious is earth is goal, but it is looking flat. You know, so our Rishi Munis said 10,000 years back, before the apparatus of science proved, they called it Bhugol. And they called it Jagat. Jag, jiski gati ho.
Yeah, very interesting. Last question, Mickey, and then we'll take some questions from the audiences as well. So please, put your questions on the chat. Everybody's concerned these days about immunity building. So could you just give some very, very quick tips, 2 or 3 tips, very quickly on how can one build immunity sitting at home? Particularly yoga.
First things first, when you wake up, have breath for breakfast. Go to the closest window and door and take deep breaths, because inside your room, you've been taking the same old carbon dioxide. So go and refresh yourself. Say good morning to your cellular being. Then when Surya ki kirne lagti hai, So with every kiran, every kan ki jagruti hoti hai. With every kiran, every kan ki jagruti hoti hai when it touches your skin.
So when Shah Rukh Khan said "Tu hai meri kiran," he was actually talking about a scientific
Absolutely,
solution, right?
100%. And you know, Baba Ramdev भी आंख मार के सिखाते हैं और हंसा हंसा के सिखाते हैं. तो गुरु वही जो आपको प्रेम से हंसा के सिखाए. जो सीरियस है उसके पास मत जाना, वो आपको भी सीरियस बना देगा, बीमार बना देगा. हाँ, तो जब सूर्य की किरणें के पास जाओगे, and when you listen to the chirping of the birds, a smile will come on your face. और मुस्कुराहट के साथ मासूमियत बाहर निकलती है. Because when your ego is holding you, you will never smile. When you let go your ego, you will smile like a baby, which means I concur with you, I respect you, I connect with you, I regard you. So ego doesn't hold you tight. So मुस्कुराहट से मासूमियत बाहर निकलती है. And उसके साथ साथ then you must get into your herbal teas, then you must get into your yoga, then you must get into your dhyan, your chanting. You know, chanting can also metabolize. जब आपकी सुर, जब आपका सुर, आपका स्वर आप ही के कानों में फिर से पड़े, जब आपका सुर और आपका स्वर आप ही के कानों में जब पड़े, तो उससे भी तरंगे पैदा होती हैं. जैसे you know the 12 mantras, Om Mitraya Namaha, Om Rave Namaha. So when you do chanting, the true Pandit will engage with his epiglottis and will engage with his vagus nerve. So navel pe vagus nerve. So polyvagal theory suggests today that metaphysically, when you engage with, जब अंतकरण से आवाज निकलती है और यहाँ कंठ पे वाइब्रेट होती है, तो you create a scientific change in the environment, electromagnetic field. तब जाके राग मल्हार, बारिश बरसती है. So these are the things literally which can keep your immunity high. Then of course stretching, contracting, blood circulation, breathing. Then protein, पागलपन. प्रोटीन की पागलपन छोड़िए, संपूर्ण भोजन का सेवन कीजिए, जिसके अंदर आपके गाय का दूध हो, दही हो, छाछ हो, गुड़ हो, तिल हो, इमली हो, खजूर हो, भात हो, और मिलेट्स हो, जवार हो, बाजरा हो, हमारी उड़द दाल हो, सबसे उत्तम. अबे Occident, the Western science never knew what jawar was, what a bajra is, what amaranth is, ragi. So they were very ill nourished for life, and because they were ill nourished for life, उनके मस्तिष्क में कभी जागृति नहीं थी, हमेशा पीड़ा थी, because they were always divided society.
Yeah, thank you, Mickey. That was very interesting. There are some very interesting comments as well on the chat. There's one from the Director General of IMC, Ajit Ji, saying Dr. Mehta and Dr. Batra, super sessions. There are people who said excellent explanation for meditation, Mickey. And, you know, really thanking you for your valuable suggestions. One final question that we have here now from one of our viewers is regarding diabetes. Any specific yoga for diabetes? As you know, India is going to be the diabetic capital of the world very soon. And we have among the largest diabetics, including young people now. So what is it that yoga can do for diabetes, and what is it that we can do ourselves for diabetes?
Sir, being a medical professional yourself, allow me to delve into little philosophy first. Okay. Samasya is given rise by Manushya. Samadhan is when Manushya becomes Puraka. So diabetes is born out of the problematic life you have given rise to. Now to resolve that, you know, the most basic you can do for diabetes is don't do anything. First, sit in meditation morning, afternoon, evening and night. Because diabetes comes out of malfunction of your systems and processes and a fatigued, exhausted body. So sitting and doing nothing in meditation, when your breath comes into rhythm, there's a very good chance your insulin management will also get triggered. That's number one. Your liver, your glycogen management will also be triggered in meditation. So out of the markers of medical advice, now even Harvard has studied that meditation is a panacea for very many diseases, for your immuno bodies to rise, immunomodulators to get activated also. So that is one. Second is breathing, alternate nostril breathing. Third is Bhastrika also. Yeah.
So Anulom Vilom.
हाँ, Kapalbhati Bhastrika, provided your blood pressure is normal.
जी.
Then your stretch, फैलाओ, सिकोड़ और ठहराओ. ये तीन चीज औषध बन सकती है डायबिटीज के लिए. अच्छा, डायबिटीज के लिए जितना रॉ खाओगे. Now let me give you an explanation on raw food. How raw translates into wisdom. Food when grows in the गोद, माँ की घोक में जन्म लेता है, तो वो कोक में बारिश की बूंदे प्योरेस्ट आती है, पानी नीचे जाके डिस्टिल होता है, उसकी वाइटैलिटी मिलती है पौधों को, फिर सूर्य की किरणें, ताजा किरणें अनएडल्टरेटेड डायरेक्टली गिरती है. देन 24 घंटे 365 days the plant is experiencing the movements of the planets. The whole cosmos is unfolding the mysteries before. So the plant absorbs the wisdom of the universe. And when you consume them in Jagruti, in Bodh, in absolute awareness, that wisdom becomes yours. It is said that whatever you eat, you become, because the DNA of your food translates into DNA imprint of your DNA. It leaves an imprint of its characteristics, and that translates into making a personality. So Sattva gun wala khana will make you sattvic in thoughts, words, deeds. Creativity will be your domain. Productivity will be your mastery. Vision will be your birthright. Compassion, empathy, sympathy will be your inner personality. Peace will be the nature of your being with vegetarian sattvic food.
Thank you, Mickey. Now one last very quick question, and then we have to close. I know we could just go on because it's been so interesting. We've had some very interesting, comments. Wow, what an explanation! आज की सुबह हमेशा ताजा रहेगी. And one last question is chanting Om 101 times a good way to meditate?
तो सबसे पहले एक सांख्या योगा में बोलते हैं कि 32 बार चबाओ, 4 घंटे पाचन को दो, but that is for beginners. किंडरगार्टन के लिए वो सही है. When you come to a level, then it is the deepest understanding of the feeling. आपकी खुद की भावनाओं का एहसास. तो जब आपने ओम एक बार भी बोल दिया, तो कभी कभी वो 1000 के बराबर हो जाता है. Because you know how to metabolize that one Om ka chant, and you achieved everything you wanted to achieve in that. Okay, now coming to the practical scientific way of doing it. So behind your navel there is aorta going, and there is also one polyvagal nerve going. Okay, vagus nerve. Now everything is about vibration. So नाभि के 2 उंगल नीचे से the swara of should start. Okay. Then U should happen at Swadhisthana, and it should go beyond Manipura and Anahata, and Ma should start from Vishuddhi to Mastis to Sahasrara. So A, U, Ma is in a sequence. एक माला है, एक गीत की माला है, not the बिना का गीत माला. ये ओम की जो माला है, ये ओम की माला teleports you from 3rd dimension to 5th dimension, where you become the immeasurable potential of all that was, is, and will be. When your vibratory frequency becomes one with the vibratory frequency of the creative phenomenon, the Big Bang, where constantly creation is happening even now. A flower is blossoming somewhere in the morning now, or a full moon is somewhere, or stars are twinkling. So everything is simultaneous. So you become a part of the simultaneous creative process. So Antaryami, Krishna consciousness, Shiva consciousness, Christ consciousness, Muhammad, Mahavir consciousness.
So, Mickey, thank you very, very much.
Haji.
It's been, really a delightful, philosophical, and a very useful kind of session.
Haji.
I'm sure all our viewers have enjoyed it very much. If I may say, just like how you said, it is a Geet Mala. I think it's been a Gyan Mala as well. So there's been a lot of Gyan that all of us have, got through this program.
Yep.
And I'm sure that we shall, carry these memories for a very long time to come. Thank you very much. May I now,
Sir, one parting message I want to give to my audience, if you may
Yes,
allow. 60
please.
seconds. I have 10 commandments of wellness. Commandment number 1, let wellness be the religion number 1, because religions divide, wellness unites, and wellness cleanses you, regulates you, purifies you, integrates you. And your devotion becomes much bigger. So it will make you a better Hindu, better Muslim, better Christian if you embrace wellness as religion number 1. Number 2, the best exercise for biceps is to uplift the poor. The best exercise for shoulders, take responsibility of the underprivileged. The best exercise for strong legs, be rooted in humility to be better rooted in humanity, like Dr. Mukesh Batra. Sleep every night with a wish to heal yourself. Wake up every morning with a promise to heal the world, and then get your life naturalized, energized, optimized, maximized, internalized, eternalized, evolutionized, revolutionized, negativity neutralized to get Mickey-mized.
That's right. You just Mickey-mized us, Mickey. Thank you very,
you.
very much. May I now hand back to Selvi for any winding comments that you'd like to have, or anything else? People have again said it's a very nice session, and Louisa has said nice session. Chitra has said they are great commandments. So thank you very much, Mickey, once again. Over to Selvi. And
Thank
we hope
you.
that we have more of it.
If I may just add before we close down, Dr. Mehta and Dr. Batra, this has been probably one of the most refreshing sessions for us. I mean, we have been coming into office, working from home, and doing a whole lot of things, but just to listen to you and in this 1 hour has been an absolute I mean, I have been glued to the screen since I logged in, and thank you so much. So just a little bit from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you for all your support, and thank you to IMC as well.
Okay, just 1 minute. Dr. Mukesh Batra ji, you are such a guru who will always allow your pupils to stand on your shoulders and look beyond, and ode to such a guru and such humility. I love you, sir. I love you, Bhai Sahib.
All the best.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Actually, Ajit sir, you came in. I was actually going to call you for the welcome address, for the vote of thanks. Thank you, sir, for pitching in. And sir, that was an awesome, awesome, awesome lecture. We really were so glued and learned a lot in the few minutes that you gave us this knowledge. That was too good. Thank you, sir. Thank you, doctors.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you all.
for the
participants.
Thank you, Chitra, for a great session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chitra.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you. Thank you, Nishreen ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.